Let's make a Cartman backpack. I'm starting with red yarn, and I'm actually going to double my yarn. So since I'm doubling it, I'm using a bigger hook. I'm using a size J hook. And let's see. Let's make about, I want to say 30 chains. Let's see how that looks. Yeah. I think that's a pretty decent size for Cartman. So I'm going to chain one more for 31 stitches. And I'm going to do, actually no, single crochet all the way down till the end of your row. Okay, I'm at the end of my first row. Go ahead and do a couple more rows. This is going to be the base of your Cartman, so depending on how wide you want your base. Okay, so I stopped at 5 rows of single crochets. I think that's a pretty decent size for your base. If you want to do more or less, go for it. You will never need an exact number of chains or stitches when you're making these backpacks. So now you're at the end of your row here. You're going to rotate your work, and now you're going to work on the edge right here. So in that same stitch that you're on, you're going to make another single crochet. Okay, and so now you're on the 4th row. Go ahead and make a single crochet. And now you're on your 3rd row, single crochet. And here's your 2nd row, single crochet. And then here is your 1st row. Okay. Now go ahead and rotate your work. So now you're on the bottom side of your work. Here's where your tail is, where you first started. So now in that same stitch, you're going to do another single crochet. So there should be 2 single crochets in that same stitch. Okay, and then just single crochet all the way down till the end of your row. Okay, I'm at the end of my row here. So I have single crochets from here all the way down on the edge and then all the way up. And now I'm on the other side of the edge now. You're going to do single crochets on each row, the same as your other side. So on that same stitch, you're going to do one more single crochet. That was the 1st row. Now you're on the 2nd row, single crochet. 3rd row, single crochet. 4th row, single crochet. And 5th row, single crochet. Okay, so now I'm going to transition to half double crochets because it is faster than single crochets, and it doesn't have that many openings like with double crochet. So now in the next stitch here, I'm going to start doing half double crochets. And just continue all the way around until your work starts looking like a pouch, like a little bag. Okay. So this is my first row of half double crochets. Just go all the way around. And you don't have to do half double crochets. You're more than welcome to do single crochets, but I prefer half double crochets to finish faster. Now here, I'm not gonna slip stitch or anything. I'm just gonna keep going with my half double crochets. And right now it's starting to look like a boat, like a little boat. So just keep on going. Alright, so here I am 3 rows in on half double crochets. And I'm actually just gonna flip this inside out because it's getting difficult to crochet on the edges here. So now just continue working for several more rows until you have your desired length. Okay, so here's what your pouch should look like. This is the body. Now we're gonna get started on the neck. So on the ends, you're just going to decrease on the ends here. So here, let's start. Here's one decrease, and then a half double crochet, and then another decrease. So just continue to do half double crochet across until you reach the end. So I'm at the other side now. Go ahead and decrease. Oops. And then a half double crochet. And then another decrease. So you're only going to decrease on the ends. Continue with your half double crochets until the end. Decrease, half double crochet, and decrease again. So keep going until you get a slant, and that'll be your neck. Okay, so here you have a bit of a slant. That'll be the neck part. So I'm just gonna finish off here. I'm just going to slip stitch and then cut my tail. You can leave a little tail, that's fine. Now this is how your body should look like. So just go ahead and set this aside, and we're gonna get started on the head. So we're gonna go ahead and get started on our head. Go ahead and grab some skin colored yarn. The color for this one is called Aran. I think that's how you pronounce it, A-R-A-N. But just make sure you grab anything in between white and beige, just as long as it's not white or beige. And especially not white, because we're gonna use white for the eyes, and then you're not gonna be able to see the eyes if you use white. So for the head, we're gonna do a magic circle, and I'm gonna do half double crochets. So I'm gonna do 8 half double crochets in my magic circle. Six, 7, and 8. So for half double crochet, you do 8 in your magic circle, but if you're doing single crochet, you do 6. If you're doing double crochet, you do 12. So I'm doing half double crochets. So for my second row, I'm gonna increase in each stitch for a total of 16 stitches. And I don't like to slip stitch, so I'm just gonna do my half double crochet. You can't really tell there's an opening there. So there's one half double crochet, and there's 2, 3, and 4. So go ahead and increase in each stitch around till you reach 16 stitches. So here we are on our third row now. So I hope you know how to make a circle already. You just increase on the first increase stitch. So here's 1 and 2. You're gonna increase on that first stitch, 1 and 2, and then the next one is just a regular stitch. And here's another increase on the first stitch, 1 and 2. And then the next one is just 3, just a regular stitch. So an increase, 1 and 2, and then the next one regular, just 3. Okay, so keep doing this. So keep increasing until your desired length. I'll be right back. Alright, so I stopped at 10 rows. I think that's a decent size for the head. Now you should be able to already know how to make a circle. If you want to do your own way with the slip stitches, that's fine. But with slip stitches, there's a noticeable line, and I don't like that, so I just crochet over it, and it just evens out after like the second or third row. So here's the front of the head. Go ahead and do one more, and that'll be the back of the head. Actually, one more thing. Once you finish, go ahead and just slip stitch, and then chain 1, and then give yourself a pretty long tail to sew for later. Okay, now you can go ahead and do the second head. So here are my 2 heads. Go ahead, put this aside, and we're gonna get started on the eyes. Okay, now for the eyes, go ahead and grab your white yarn. The yarn I have is a little thin, so I'm gonna double it. as well. The yarn I've been using is Red Heart Super Saver, but this one is a little thinner, so when I double it, I'm still using a smaller hook. This one is a size G hook. So for the eyes, let's start with 8 chains, I believe. Let's try 8. I hope that's a good size. We'll see. So go ahead and single crochet all the way down for a total of 7 stitches. Okay. Before your last stitch, you're gonna do 3 single crochets in that last stitch. So 1, 2, and then your work should be rotating towards the bottom, and 3. So now you're on the bottom side, you're gonna single crochet on the bottom. So in the next stitch, single crochet, 1, 2, 3, and I'm hiding my tail as I go along. 4, 5, okay. I'm on my last stitch, my last chain. So in the last chain, I'm going to do 2 single crochets. And that'll be a total of 3 stitches in that chain. So go ahead and single crochet all the way down. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, I'm on the end again. So in these 3 stitches, you're gonna do an increase in each stitch. So 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6. Okay, so you have a good curve right here. Go ahead, single crochet all the way down until you increase again. So here you are on the end. Go ahead and increase on those 3 stitches, 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6. Okay, now just single crochet all the way down, and you're just going to keep increasing on the ends. So I'm at the end here. I could see the 2 stitches, so I'm going to increase on that first stitch, 1 and 2. The next stitch is just 3. So here's my increase. So increase on the first stitch, 1 and 2. The next one is just a regular stitch, 3. And then increase on the next one, 1 and 2. Next one is just 3. Go ahead and single crochet until you reach your increased stitch. Okay, I've reached my increased stitch. Go ahead and increase 1 and 2. Next one is 3. Increase 1 and 2. Next one is 3. Now one more time, increase 1 and 2, and then the next one is just 3. All right, so keep going until you have your desired size. So you're just going to increase on the first increase stitch on the ends right here. Okay, so I did a total of 5 rows. I think that's a pretty decent size. So go ahead and close it off, slip stitch, chain 1, and give yourself a tail so you could sew it on later, and then just pull through and go ahead and make your second eye. All right, here are my 2 eyes, both with a long tail. Go ahead and put these aside, and we're going to get started on the hat. So for the hat, go ahead and grab some sky blue color, or maybe if you have turquoise too. This one, I'm back to Red Heart Super Saver yarn, and I'm back to my size J hook. So for the hat, we're going to do a half circle. Go ahead, do a magic circle. And remember, for our head, we did 8 half double crochets. For this one, we're going to do 4 half double crochets. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then pull your tail. Okay. For our second row, go ahead and increase in each stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay. So you're going to increase by 4 in every row. Chain 1, turn your work around. So increase 1 and 2. The next stitch is just a regular stitch, 3. Increase 1 and 2. And then next stitch is just regular, 3. So increase 1 and 2. Next one is just 3. So 1 and 2, and then 3. Chain 1, turn your work around. So we're on row 4. So you're gonna do 4 stitches before every increase. I hope that makes sense. So increase 1 and 2. There's your first increase. The next stitch is just 3, and then the next stitch is just 4. So increase 1 and 2. The next stitch is just 3, and then the next stitch is just 4. So increase 1 and 2. Next one is 3, and then next one is 4. So increase 1 and 2. And the next stitch is 3, and then the next stitch is 4. So keep going until you have your desired size. So row 5, of course, so you do an increase, and then you increase after every 5th stitch. So keep going until you have a good size. So let me see how many rows that'll be. So I think 8 rows is a decent size. I don't want to do 10 rows because that's what we did for the heads, and we don't want to cover half of the face. So 8 rows is a good size. So I went ahead and cut my yarn. I just left a little tail. And my yellow yarn, we're gonna get started on the brim of the hat. My yellow yarn is a little thin, so I'm gonna change hooks. And I'm gonna do a size H hook. So with your yellow yarn, go ahead and chain 1, and then you're just gonna single crochet on the bottom side of the hat. So I'm thinking for every row, I think 3 single crochets, 2 or 3 single crochets for each row would be a good amount. And I'm also hiding my tail as I crochet along. Okay, so just keep going till you reach the end. So here's what your brim should start looking like. This is the first row. I'm just going to do one more row, and then so chain 1 and just single crochet all the way down. And here's what it looks like with the second row. And here is your hat. Go ahead, chain 1 and leave a bit of a long tail to sew on later. And then just pull through. All right, now let's get started. Since I have yellow, let's get started on the pom-pom. So cut a decent size yarn first, I'm gonna put this, leave this on the side. So cut a good size first. So for the pom-pom, if you want to use a little piece of cardboard, you can, but I just use my fingers. So just wrap your fingers around all 4 fingers. Okay. So let's see. All right. I removed 2 of my fingers, so I have space right here. Put your cut yarn through there. Oh, let's cut this. Let's cut this first. All right. So with your cut yarn, pull through. Remove your fingers, nice and easy. And then you're gonna tie it up nice and tight. Go ahead, double knot. And just wrap it again. Nice and tight. And then another double knot. Okay. So now you're gonna grab your scissors and cut the loops. Just like that. Here's your pom-pom, and just trim any long pieces. You can keep trimming if you like. Alrighty. Oops. Alright, there you have it. Put this aside. And now let's see what else. Let's get started on the mouth. Alright, so for the mouth, go ahead and grab your black yarn. And I'm not going to double my yarn this time. And the hook I'll be using is a size F hook. So for the mouth, go ahead and chain 13 for a total of 12 stitches. So 13. So you're going to start with a single crochet and then a half double crochet in the next stitch and then a double crochet in the next stitch. Now we went from small, medium to large. Now we're going to go the opposite, large, medium to small. So we're going to do a double crochet, a half double crochet, and then a single crochet. Now we're going to do the opposite and do small, medium, and large. So a single crochet, a half double crochet, and then a double crochet. So now keep doing your roller coaster crochet and do large, medium, and small. So double crochet, a half double crochet, and then a single crochet. Now this mouth is a little small. I'm gonna chain 1, turn my work around, and continue the same pattern with small, medium, large, then large, medium, small, small, medium, large, large, medium, small. So here's what my second row looks like. I'm going to do one more row, see what that looks like. So chain one, turn your work around. So small, medium to large. So single crochet, half double crochet, and then double crochet. Now large, medium, and small. So double crochet, half double crochet, and then single crochet. So small to large, single, half double crochet, and then double crochet, large to small, double crochet, half double crochet, and then single. I hope you can see that. I think this is probably a good decent size mouth. Let me double check. Yep, it's a good size for the face that I have. So go ahead, chain one, and then leave yourself a tail to sew on later. And then just pull through, put your mouth to the side. All right, and then we're gonna get started on the pupils. You could do a little circle if you like, or you could just do this. Chain two, and then single crochet, and then single crochet again in that same chain. And then just slip stitch, chain one. Cut your yarn, pull through, and then tie these two together. So here's your pupil. Go ahead and make another pupil. All right, go ahead and cut this part here, and on the other side as well. Now for the head, let's see, make it nice and flat. Now the head, leave your tail on the top right for the back, and then the top left. So you're gonna leave this part open, and you're just gonna sew the sides right here, maybe around like 10 stitches, give or take. And then you're gonna leave this open here. So we'll see how that looks. All right, so this is the head. So the top is not sewed, and neither is the bottom. So only the sides here. Now it's never even when I start sewing. Like I start sewing from here to here, but on this side I started sewing from here. So I sewed a little bit up, like 3 stitches up, and then I came back down. So let's see. Here's the hats. Let's see. Move that up a little bit. Look familiar? So go ahead and assemble everything. Assemble the face together, and then I'll be back as soon as that's assembled so we could sew the head onto the body. Okay. All right, so we have our face here. So we're gonna assemble it over the body here. So you're gonna overlap the face around the body. That. So the top should be on the top, and the bottom should overlap the bottom. So you're gonna go ahead and sew it together, front and back. Alrighty. Alright, here's your backpack. Now, one thing is that on the inside, since we did overlap the body and the head together, I'm gonna go ahead, I don't know if you can see that, I'm gonna go ahead and glue the flaps together, so that you could just, so that it won't be in the way. I hope you can see that. So go ahead and glue the inside if you have it. If not, just go ahead and sew it. Alright, the flaps are glued together, so that looks good right there. So now all you need are some straps and a button, and that's it. Alright, so just pick a color for the straps. I went with red, and then I put a little yellow button right here. Alright, let's see how this looks. Oh, I'm missing one more thing. One sec. So one last step. It's completely up to you if you want to add this, but just cut 4 pieces of black yarn. Put 2 together, and then you just glue them on. Make sure they're nice and tight. All right, I might trim this a little more. Okay. All right, and here are the final results. Now this took me all day. I did take like a 4-hour break in between though, to make dinner and watch a movie. Now I'm not saying you could finish in a day, but it is possible. I think I took maybe a total of 6 hours. So yeah, good luck.